Scheusman alternated behind the wheel. The team from the land of the rising sun placed 6th in practice. Its main competitors were the Chrysler Viper and the Porsche 911 GTR, in addition to 200 other starters, all there to give their best at the toughest long-distance race in the world. The turbulent starting phase is one of the most exciting parts of the race. The drivers all entered the first curve as though they were in a sprint race, and the Toyota lost 2 places. But it didn't take long for the car to move up to the front of the field. This GT racer is one of the fastest and most spectacular cars on the circuit. But the Nürburgring takes its toll. Before the night was over, the fire-breathing dragon was involved in a crash and was eliminated from the race. Change of scenery. The Hockenheim Ring a few months later. The Toyota is in top form again. This time, 6 European motorsport journalists have an exclusive appointment with the Supra. Specialists flown in from Japan check over the car's sensitive electronics with a computer. These preparations aren't much different than those that would take place before a race. The driving computer gets all the necessary information per chip card. Only the secret electronic data enable the engine to be started. Even the 6-speed sequential transmission is checked over again. And finally, the sound of 500 horsepower comes rocketing out of the exhaust. This car wants to be driven. The empty cockpit waits expectantly. There's no doubt that this blue beast has put the journalists under its spell. Everyone knows the inconspicuous little engine beneath the steel struts packs the roaring power of a big V8. Sitting as though he were strapped into a space shuttle, the driver receives final instructions. After that, it's all a matter of total concentration. As the racer is pushed out of the box, the crew's glances drift skywards. Light rain is already making track conditions dangerous. The first few rounds are hard. At just over 2,500 pounds, the rear-wheel drive Supra weighs less than a VW Golf and reacts in a predictably aggressive manner to the powerful thrust of the turbo engine. But as the drivers get used to it, their lap times improve. Following this test drive, everyone is astounded. The Toyota Supra doesn't just inspire with its infernal sound. This car's lots of fun to drive. I thought it would spin out a bit on the road during acceleration, but it's very stable. There are only 6 of these cars in the entire world. All were constructed by Toyota Racing Development in Japan. This sleek fiberglass racer is based on the Supra sports car model. It's only 48 inches high, but nearly as long as a Mercedes E-Class sedan. The body was developed in a wind tunnel. It's characterized by a rugged front spoiler with side wings. The massive rear spoiler is widely adjustable, depending on the amount of downward force desired for the rear axle. The cockpit is arranged as narrowly as the pedals. Nothing from the series model was left over. Welded steel panels as side impact protectors complete the massive steel roll cage. On the middle console, all important functions are controlled by levers and switches. On the lower end, the quickly changeable fuses can be found. Not exactly a cockpit for relaxed cruising. Up front, there's a 2-liter 4-cylinder with a turbocharger, the same engine Toyota used in the World Rally Championships. The statistics? Over 500 horsepower, an unbelievable 650 Newton meters of torque. The red line on the tacho begins at 8,000 RPM, and the mileage? A modest 6.2 miles per gallon. Thanks to its uncompromising construction, the Supra reaches a top speed of over 175 miles per hour, a real challenge for a driver. And finally, it's time to hit the track. Already at half throttle, the full pressure of the turbocharger kicks in. The Supra takes off like a rocket and reaches shifting RPM within seconds. The car is always controllable despite its incredible power. The oppressive feeling in the cockpit also disappears in time. The Toyota reacts instantly and precisely to every steering impulse. Looking out from behind the suede leather steering wheel, it seems as though the world is going by as seen through a quick motion camera. Out on the dry track, this dragon can really show its claws. All too sudden acceleration provokes a spin-out, which thankfully has no serious consequences. The end of this test drive was inevitable, but for the motorsport journalists, the memory will always remain.
You know, ideas and inventions